the trip to Africa. I knew it was coming. I knew at the end of the season there was a few people who were kind of tagged to go on this awesome trip with Uplay over to Africa, and I didn't know exactly what the details were, but it sounded awesome, and I
Yeah,
saw some of the content from it. It looked equally as awesome. Talk about the
it was
trip, who
incredible.
put it
Yeah.
together, who went, and what was the experience like?
So Uplay is the sustainability partner of Paul Macbeth Foundation, and they went in December of 2022. I went as well with them to Uganda. We spent a couple weeks in Katosi, which is this small fishing village on Lake Victoria, and Ndeje University, which is a sporting university near Kampala, which is the capital of Uganda. And we built a couple courses. We This is in 2022. We built a couple courses. We
Mm-hmm.
did a bunch of clinics, taught thousands of people. And but the problem was all of our baskets were held up in what's the port in Kenya? It's not Mogadishu, it's Mombasa. They were held up in Mombasa,
Yeah.
and we weren't able, yeah, we weren't able to get the baskets until after we left, and so they had to put everything together. But one of the coolest things was when I showed up in November of this year with UPlay, and I saw the baskets in the ground at Ndeje University, and it was just like it was amazing because I was like, oh, what we did last year stuck, it's working. And then I got out of the bus and I saw all the kids and people playing disc golf, and it was just unbelievable. But this time around, November with UPlay, with Zoe and Dustin leading the charge. Zoe Andyke and Dustin Keegan. We went to 2 weeks in Uganda, and then we had one person actually split off down to Zimbabwe to teach disc golf, and then we went to Kenya to do a couple fun things over there. But yeah, we held a tournament in Uganda, the first ever tournament in Uganda. We had 96 players show up. It was crazy. No one, there's a lot of people that didn't really know the rules. So we had one pro, one experienced player with every single group, and we were walking. It took
Mm.
quite a long time, but we successfully finished, and people got discounts off the tuition actually for placing. It was insane. Like we didn't know what was going on, but people were like first, second, and third were getting like 15, 10, and 5% off their tuition to Ndeje University, and
What?
that shook us. We were like, what? When did this happen? But yeah, and that was crazy. I think overall we ended up leaving like 2,000 discs over there, teaching well over 1,500 kids. We had one event where we had 350 kids in one event, and like six people teaching disc
Wow.
golf. It was absolutely insane. And then we went to Kenya, and we went to Rimpa Estates, which is this wildlife conservancy. And Paul Wright, actually, I don't know if you know that name, but he's a Washington Masters disc golfer. He actually
Mm-mm.
designed the course up there for the Paul Macbeth Foundation. Yeah, we had a couple clinics up there, a children's tournament, and then we ran our own tournament, the Ostrich Open. And I managed to do something pretty cool. I shot 19 down, which was insane. But the story actually, yeah, you saw that. Yeah, 19 down. It was
Yeah.
I think 17 birdies and one eagle. I'll be the first to say that the course is super soft, super soft. But here it is. Here's my excuse as to why it's one of my greatest rounds ever. Leading up to the tournament, we had taken a ride to Uganda in a small little van, and we got stuck behind the presidential motorcade. And so a 3 hour drive turned into a 5 hour drive, and my back got really messed up because we were going over these bumpy roads trying to get
Mm-hmm.
around this. It was awful. And so the next day I could barely walk because of lower back issues. And so I took a day off, and then the universe was like, you know what? You're not struggling enough. We're going to give you travelers I must say diarrhea. It was awful. So I'm dealing with lower back pain and oh, I lost my and and diarrhea, and I still am. And it's like my Michael Jordan flu game. I still managed to shoot a 19
Yeah.
down and win.
Thinking the same thing.
But yeah, it was a pretty crazy experience. 3 weeks in Africa is a long time. It was made a lot easier by the team I had. We like Zoe, Dustin, Raven Klein, who is an absolute gem of a human being. Uh, James Koizumi from Calgary, Canada. Alex Meyer, Raven's partner, also disc golf extraordinaire and really good with the camera. And then a couple of Play
Mm-hmm.
board members, Kim and Sarah Johnson. And it was just it was a long time. It was at the end of the season. I was definitely angsting to get home, but it was definitely worth the trip.